RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
Oh, man. Wrong camera. What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing? Hope everything is playing. Everybody in the chat, you'll let me know in a minute. Because, yeah, it's been a while. I haven't seen you. I missed you. Where you been? Where you been? Now, where have I been? I'm sorry I wasn't able to do a weekday show this week. My schedule got away from me, and a lot of things, you know. My back hurt, my feet stank, my breath smelled, you know. My corns were acting up. Just had a lot of scheduling problems. I had to get, seriously, I had to get Ray from the vet. I had a lot of running around to do. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't make it in time. So, and I also have a friend here visiting, and, you know, it's just a lot going on. Thank you, Jim, for your super chat right out of the gate. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Haiku. Nice to see you, Winston. You guys are great. And thank you for the feedback that the show is rolling along. I'm glad to hear it. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Well, where do we begin? Let's start. Well, first of all, you know what I'm going to say. If you can become a patron, please do at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Keep the show going and growing. And if you can't support the show financially, give the show a good review on iTunes. That helps. And, you know, tell your friends to come and hang out on our Friday evening get-togethers here at the Tarabuster YouTube channel at youtube.com/see-for-channel/Tarabuster. And if you're on any other channel and you want to hang out in the greatest chat room in American history, come on over and hang out with us. You'll meet Haiku. You'll meet Pookie's mama, Irene. You'll meet Jim, Winston, and many other great patriots that you're new friends. All right, we're in this together. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. Also, I don't know, APS Radio News. I don't know what's happening, but I do appreciate the support from APS Radio News, and thank you, Charlie, for your donations to the care and feeding of little Boudica the kitten. That helps, and it not just helps. It helps me, I should say, emotionally. It's nice to know that, you know, we really are in this together. So, and it matters. Also, I wanted to point this out. Somebody sent me a book. Who sent me this book? I received this book in the mail, and I don't know. I didn't order it myself, but it's called American Secularism, and no one took credit for sending it to me, or even I didn't even get a warning that it was coming. And so, if whoever sent it, thank you. It's interesting, and I'd like to read it. I mean, I've read a little. I didn't read the whole thing, but I just want to say, hey, that's cool. All right. Listen. Where do we begin? All right. So I was thinking, you know, this is one of the things why I don't like missing the shows during the week, because there's so much going on, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And, you know, I don't know. I need you guys, too, because it feels really, you know, I just can't believe that we're sharing the same air with this Republican Party. And what I don't understand, who votes for these people? And, you know, really the overarching hypothesis of the show. And we bring the receipts, though. It's not just, I mean, we have the empirical evidence that Republicans are unfit to hold leadership positions in a modern nation. That is really the theme of the show. And well, there are other themes, like, you know, liberals are the real patriots who are capable of functioning in a free democratic society that Republicans can only pretend to love by wearing shirts with stars and eagles on it. But that's not patriotism. That's the performative. That's the show, the display of patriotism. But actual patriotism is way over their heads. It's the same. It's really, everything is performative. Even well, I guess it all kind of fits in because they're governing is performative. They're not actually governing. They're putting on a show for the dupes, and that's really not how you run or govern a modern nation. And Republicans, see, they hate government. So the other thing is, I mean, this is just a fact. You can't call yourself a patriot while saying that you hate government, because the founders didn't fight a revolution to stick a giant orange parasite into the catbird seat of power and ensure that nobody had any power to do anything about the crimes he committed. That's not why the founders fought a revolution. I mean, they had they lived in a world thousands of years of intergenerational aristocracy and monarchy. So they weren't about to fight a revolution to create a government that simply mimicked what they had just escaped. So this country is supposed to be the antidote to the very system that the Republicans are trying to rebuild here. So this is something that, and as you know, I mean, part of the reason to do the show, if that we do this show, is to get that word out there, to reclaim patriotism, to really get the word out about what this America thingy is all about, which is really everything that the Republicans stand against. And thank you, Mark C. Mark C. enters the chat room with a super chat right out of the gate. Thank you. Been taking a long break, Mark says, but just have to re-engage with our Buster family. All right. Yes, it's nice to see you, and I was thinking about you, so I hope everything's all right. And Trucker John is in the chat room. Nice to see you, Trucker. Trucker John has his own podcast as well, and I hope everybody has subscribed to it. Everyone in the chat, because we stick together, we win. Remember. I mean, I know you remember, but all you got to do is just hit the subscribe. Put your link in the chat there, Trucker John. And I wish I had your job, really, Trucker John. That's a great job, just riding a truck, doing a podcast in a truck. That seems kind of like a dream. So anyway. Maybe one day I'll do that when I don't know, when I grow up. So, and thank you, Kathy, for joining us in the chat. And I don't want to miss anybody. So, all right, more people will be joining, I'm sure. So, where was I? Yes, Republicans are unfit to hold leadership positions in a modern nation. And one of the reasons why it sucks missing the show this week, during the week, which is really, I have to, you guys know, it's we have our regular Friday show, so the weekday shows are, they're kind of, they are more loosey-goosey. So, but you might have seen this already. Here's the headline. This is where we live. Okay, the headline is, and I see JD. Thank you, JD, our friend from across the pond, and thank you, JD, for your PayPal donation. It's I see you, and thank you very much. It means a lot. It really does, especially because you're looking at us. You don't have to live in this shit. Jesus Christ. All right, so here's the headline. He kicks me in the balls. A fight at a Michigan GOP meeting turns physical. Well, what do I always say? Republicans are unfit. This is who they are. And here's yet another example. They are unfit. You don't see, I mean, we could say everything about the Democratic Party, and we do. When we critique the Democratic Party, it's, you know, we're critiquing the money in politics, corruption, you know, take that kind of shit, which is really, that's the problem with this government. The problem is money in politics. It is the root of all of this evil. Because get rid of money in politics and you would never see the likes of Matt Gaetz or, perjury traitor Green or any of them. Or Trump, especially. Hold on, we'll be right back. So, but this is not, this is really par for the course with Republicans. Hold on. I have a... See, it's asking me for my subscription or to sign in. I have a fucking... I hate when... I don't understand. Why am I getting logged out of all my publications? And that's another reason, just to say, thank you for your support. Because, I got to subscribe to these fucking publications and keep up with everything. What the hell is going on? Yes, he kicked me in the balls. Why can't I log in? But okay. We'll find another one then. Let's see, kicked in the balls. Let's see what comes up. Who's calling me? Kicked in... It's probably a prank. You realize, guys, that I've played them on the show before. Someone out there, it's a compliment, but they have, I guess, put me on a list for prank bots. Kicked in the balls. Kicked in the balls. GOP, Michigan. Yes, he kicked me in the balls. So the Saturday meeting of the Michigan GOP State Committee reportedly resulted in one person being sent to the emergency room. See, this is a prank, I bet you. Because, let's see what it is. No. Hello? See? It was. It hung up. I was going to play it, but it was like, hello, amiga, I would like to order a... Like, fuck off. If you're going to... If that's what you do, if that's... You waste your time, like, putting me on a prank list, all it does is validate that, you're a loser, and I'm triggering you somehow. It's very, I don't know how that one got through, but usually because I'm on the, Robo Killer or whatever. So, 99.9% of them just go to nothing. I never received them, but for some reason that one got through, so. But think about that. Some of these fuckers, I guess the only thing that really concerns me is that how did they get my phone number, which I suppose you can get anybody's number nowadays if you paid, but somebody somehow got my number and they put me on this fucking list of, and during the election, we've played them on the air before, there's these pranks, and they were all about Trump. They all had some kind of Trump theme to them about how they were going to send me a Trump book, and how they... I wonder if I have a couple. It was kind of bizarre. But the other reason is because I don't know anybody else that was receiving them, so... And I posted about it on Twitter at the time, and some... journalist got in touch with me, but they never really pursued anything about it. I wish that they had. Let's see, prank. I know I was keeping a file of them. But anyway, whatever. Well, I wish they would do something that would get the show some notice. That might help. You know what I mean? Like, because, if they take a pot shot at me or something. And, of course, I would like to survive, but the show would probably take off then. Let me see. Pranks? Did I have it under pranks? Anyway, who cares? Whatever. I can't find it. It must be hooked up somewhere. I know I have it, but whatever. I'm not talking about this now. So, yeah, he kicks me in the balls. So, as reported by the Detroit News, Wayne County Republican James Chapman was trying to get into the state party's meeting room at the Doherty... Doherty, how do you say that? Doherty Hotel, yeah, by jiggling the door handle when Clare County Republican Chair Mark DeYoung opened the door from inside. He kicked me in the balls as soon as I opened the door. Who are these people? These are adults that behave like this, and they're supposed to be representing the people of their community, and they're not, though. That we know this. Republicans don't get into government for altruism. They're not in government service. They're in government to trigger the libs or to, really to feather their own nests somehow. They're in government for their own personal reasons, not to serve. If maybe I guess they might convince themselves they're serving by, attacking trans people or whatever it might be, making the rich richer and the working class the more malleable working poor. But, they're not fit. They're simply not fit to hold leadership positions in a modern nation. They're not emotionally mature enough. They're not stable. Here's, for example, I wish they had the actual ball kicking on video, but they don't. But they have another. I came across this other video of the same lot, the same Michigan GOP, and they're having a drunken argument. So here's the Michigan GOP in full effect. So they're at some meeting, and there's a guy, and he's talking. You'll hear the guy. I guess whoever was filming this, I don't know why he was filming it, but I'm glad he did, so we can watch it now. But so they're talking about how somebody that he knows leans Democratic, and he said he didn't understand what a white is that it? A white nationalist is. And then he was like, oh my God, I'm a white nationalist. Listen to this shit.
I have a teacher friend who leans left.
Sorry,
I have a teacher friend who leans left, and he was talking all about the Christian nationalists.
Oh yes, Christian nationalists. I know it's a little hard to hear because there's all that background noise. He's like, I have a teacher friend who leans left, and he was talking about Christian nationalists.
Through a series of questions, he's like, oh shit, I'm a Christian nationalist.
Oh shit, through a series of questions, he says, oh shit, I'm a Christian nationalist. Bullshit. What person who leans left? First of all, I mean, that's not the point of this video, because the point of the video is what I'm going to show you is that these two drunken women having a fight in the background. But the guy's conversation is just, another segment of how unfit they really are. I have a friend who leans left. And he's like, oh shit, I'm a Christian nationalist. Bullshit. Hold on. Right. Haiku on the chat says Christian nationalists. You mean like Nazis? Exactly. Oh yeah, shit. I have a friend who leans left. What friend? Who leans left? If that's the case, then they're morons. Oh shit. I'm a Christian nationalist. I guess his point of view, or whatever he's trying to say, is that we just don't understand what a Christian nationalist really is. Well, yeah, I guess the whole, Western civilization on the brink of collapse and world war because of Christian nationalism in the prior century. Yeah, we just don't understand what we're talking about. We don't have enough information. So, through a series of questions, he found out that he was a Christian national. Bullshit. But absolute bullshit. So, but beyond that, the guy is defending Christian nationalism as if this is a good thing. This is what's so sickening about the Republicans. So now there really are, I have said it for years, you know it, that in every Republican chest beats the heart of fascism, but they're not even hiding it anymore. It's right out in the open. And they're not even hiding it with an iota of shame. As if, it's like when they talk to David Duke, they always ask, oh, David Duke, he's like, and he insists that he's not a racist. I'm not a racist at all. They think that he's just being a realist, right? That's what they think. And to just be so open about your fascism is honestly, this is why we're living in such a dangerous time. Yes, Mark on the chat says the Nazis have become mainstream. Exactly, and it's bizarro world. Who did I hear? One of the Democrats, I heard, I can't remember who it was, but he was, one of the Democratic representatives. The way he put it was so on point. He said that the right wing likes to ape the legitimate world, and meaning that they like to take it's hard to explain, to take the liberal, like everything that we talk about on the show, to say, I know I'm not putting it in, I'm not doing it any justice, but meaning that they take legitimate democratic principles and governance, and they turn it on its head. And that's why we're living in a time of craziness. For example, it's like what Putin's doing in Ukraine, saying that he invaded Ukraine because there's Nazis there, when there's nothing more Nazi than attacking a democratic nation. And I've had, because I have I have a Ukraine flag on my Twitter handle, and I've had some right wingers. Now they're all being anti-Ukraine is a right wing virtue signal now, because they say there's Nazis there. You see, the Nazis are saying there are Nazis in Ukraine, and that's why the authoritarian dictator Vladimir Putin, who they admire so much, needs to usurp the democratic system there. You see, it's bizarro world. But there is a segment of the Ukrainian society that apparently, first of all, there were a lot of fakes going around online of where these right-wingers, because this is what they do, they make shit up all the time. they put Nazi insignias on photos of Ukrainian soldiers, but some of the reporting that I read, there is a brigade that is extremely right wing, and it's been a problem in Ukraine. But the fact is, that doesn't mean the entire Ukrainian government or people are Nazis. Especially, I mean, Zelensky, who was Jewish, right? But anyway, you could say that about this country, that we have that we have Nazis here. I mean, we have freaking Nazis in the House of Representatives. We have people who will not denounce Nazis in the House of Representatives. We have an orange parasite who received fewer votes 2 times, the traitor, the grifter, who says that Nazis are very fine people. So, it's kind of infuriating for right wingers. Well, whatever. What do you expect from them? To try to be like, oh, you like Nazis, when they are Nazis who defend Nazis. And it's sickening, really. So that's what I mean. It's bizarro world. So they ape the legitimate world by pretending to be pro-democratic, but they're destroying everything that democracy, is. That's what they're doing, to put somebody who is an open authoritarian, who worships other authoritarians who are successful. And he's like, oh, Ukraine's the simple deal. We made that deal in a minute. You know what the deal would be? Give Putin everything he wants. He would never have invaded Ukraine if I was president. Well, that's because you would have given him Ukraine. You wouldn't have lifted a finger. You would have tweeted out your support. Oh, God. Anyway, this is not what I was talking about. But anyway, let's get back to the unfit Michigan Republicans. But it's not an isolated incident. That's the thing. This is the Republican Party right here. Bunch of people who are, you don't see this happening in the Democratic Party meetings. They're not a bunch of drunks, getting in each other's faces while the recording picks up random conversations defending Nazis. Right? It's, where the fuck do we live?
Your question.
Damn, what am I supposed to do with that? Right. It's just interesting because they hear these things and they don't think it is.
Yes. Do you hear what he just said? Just to finish up the Nazi conversation, the guy was like, yeah, it's just interesting that when you get right down to it, they hear these things and they just don't know what it is. Or what did he say exactly? Let me roll it back. It's interesting.
Right. It's just interesting because they hear these things and they don't think it is.
They hear these things and they don't think it through. Yeah, we've never thought through that whole white Christian nationalist thing. We've never had enough time or perspective, or there's not enough blood and corpses to think through that white nationalist, that Christian nationalist thing. What's going on? Is there a Boudica behind me? Booty's playing with her toy. All right.
How many lives you set out? 22?
That's all I need to know.
See, you can hear it in their voices. The Republicans are cat fighting. Is that what you're talking about? I thought you meant the cats were cat fighting. Haiku. So you hear it in their voices. They're drunk. Okay? These women. Yeah, but this is how you behave. You're kind of at a work gathering. I don't care if it's supposed to be casual. If you don't, if you know how to behave, if you know how to compose yourself, you don't get drunk. When you're supposed to be representing the Republican Party, right? But so you get drunk and you attack each other. Okay.
22? By the power vested in me. Is that what you said? By the power invested
By
in me?
the power invested in me.
Let's talk about Macomb County and all.
You see what's going on? So these two women are about to come to fisticuffs, and she's like slurring. By the power invested in me? Is that what you said? We didn't hear the other woman say. Obviously she said by the power invested in me. She's going to do something illegal. All right, hold on. All right, we're back. So some guy sees them getting a little heated, I suppose, and he goes over and it's very cynically, of course, because he doesn't mean this. He says, let's talk about Macomb County, whatever county they're in. Because the reason he says that is because they're not talking about Macomb County.
Macomb County and all.
Macomb? I don't know.
Let's talk about Macomb County and all.
Macomb. Let's go talk about Macomb County, because that's what you should be talking about. You hear how he says it, though? Let's talk about Macomb County. Like, yeah, wink, wink, nut. Right. We're not going to talk about Macomb County. I'm just trying to break you two bitches up before you come to blows.
You're all going to jail. You're all going to go down. All of you are going down. You're all
And they laugh. They're probably talking about this trying to overthrow the election. You're all going to jail. And then they laugh. Why? First of all, why aren't these Republicans in jail? Really? Like, what the hell is taking so long?
fuck out of here.
So, she's get the fuck out of here.
You're so fucking crazy. Get the fuck out of here.
This is your Republican Party.
By the power vested in me. By the power vested in me. By the power vested in me.
It's a clown show.
By the power vested in me.
Look at this. These are
You are no
grown
longer
people.
a delegate. Is that what he said? By the power vested in me. You're no longer a delegate. Get your cigarette out of here.
She knocks the cigarette out of the woman's hand. I'm just describing it for, well, it's hard to hear, I guess, a little bit, but for those who are listening audio only. So these two women are in each other's faces. She says, "Get your cigarette out of my face." Slaps the cigarette down. It gets better. The woman pushes her in the face.
Now we got a problem.
She just fucking.
Now we got a problem. Hey, move along. Hey, move along. Move along. You have to leave.
Look at this shit.
Right now. No, I'm.
Damn, why would you cut it off there? So, I guess they got rid of the woman there, you gotta leave, because she pushed the other woman's face. But, whatever. This is your Republican Party. And Haiku says, that's not Marjorie Taylor Greene? It could be. It could be. This is who they are. Unfit. Absolutely, disgustingly unfit to hold leadership positions in a modern nation. And frankly, I'm sick of it. That the corporate media reports on the Republican Party as if, today's Republican Party. There might have been a time when they knew how to behave themselves. Probably not. But whatever this iteration of the Republican Party is, they're not attracting the best people, right? Remember when Trump says, they're not attracting you. They're not sending you They're not attracting the top of the cream of the crop here. In order to identify as a Republican, and I you guys know this, there's something wrong with you. There has to be something wrong with you. Either you are greedy, you're a racist, right? It has to be. There's something there. There's something failing. There's a moral, spiritual failing happening. Or maybe you're just weak-willed, and everybody you know is a Republican, and you don't want to be left out. You know, because people, that's the way people are. You know, people are followers, especially right-wingers. Everything about right-wingers is conformity, hierarchy, who's at the top, you know, who did God make, naturally the leader, and that's usually straight acting white men who are rich, of course, right? But there's something fundamentally wrong with Republicans, because I mean, look at them. Those are the leaders, though, you know, and they're not leading the cream of the crop, because who the hell, like, if you are the cream of the crop, would you would vote for those people? You would have you would think you would have more self-esteem. Like, how much do you have to hate yourself to vote for people like that, to put those people in office? Really, how much do you have to hate your community to send those people who they so disrespect the position that they've been given, but the trust that they've been given from the community, that they behave like that? When I was in the National Guard, we were told all the time, if you're in uniform, you are the ambassadors of the nation, right? I mean, it makes sense. So you don't put on your uniform, and if you're out, if you don't get drunk in your uniform, you don't act like an asshole in your uniform. You act like respectful. You are representing the country. So when you're in the position of trust from the community, you don't, you would think if you had any respect for that position and the government that the founders for the revolution to create and entrust to us, if you had a modicum of respect for the nation, if you had that patriotism we hear so much about when you're trying to deny kids a hot lunch program, then you wouldn't behave like that. I mean, especially in today's world, everybody has a phone, everybody has a camera. So you gonna get drunk and push people in the face and slap cigarettes out of people's hand and say, and a pound vested in me, and little. It's ridiculous. What do you mean? What are we talking about? Oh, yes. Where's the world's smallest violin? Yes. We needed to play something sympathetic towards the Repugs. It's just, they're not fit. And in keeping with that theme, I'm sure you saw the clip of this representative Crane on the House floor, using language that, I don't know, I thought we left in the dustbin of history.
His amendment would block the Defense Department from considering race, gender, and religion as the sole basis for recruitment, training, education, promotion, or retention.
So you see what they're doing? This is what we were discussing, or what I was trying to discuss earlier, about aping the legitimate world. He wants to this Representative Crane was discussing an amendment where, and this is the Republican latest, where they pretend that their racist policies are not racist, that they're just completely colorblind. They have no, everybody's equal, so they don't want any diversity and inclusion. They don't want anything to be considered that it has anything to do with pointing out the color of anybody's pigment. Do not even reference, race, because then you're racist. Don't talk about it. And that's what the Republicans are doing. So now, but it's all under the guise of they're not racist, you see. This is how not racist they are. They're so not racist that they're forcing everybody else to be not racist, totally not racist like them. So the way they show how totally not racist they are is that they ignore anything. They ignore the conversation. They block the conversation about race that we need in this country, which is, it's patriotic. If they were actual patriots, they would have, they would understand that we need that discussion. But they are, they don't want to have that discussion because that might mean that we would be a more perfect union, that we would be a more, effective and successful multiracial liberal democracy, and that's something they can't stand. Hold on. All right, so here, let's continue. This is Representative Crane putting his totally not racist amendment on the floor, discussing it.
Recruitment, training, education, promotion, or retention. We're going to play part of what he said. The immediate rebuke from Congresswoman Joyce Beatty. We're going to play his comments only once, and we want to let you know you may find them offensive.
You may.
My amendment has nothing to do with whether or not colored people or black people or anybody can serve.
Or anybody.
Okay?
Wow.
It has nothing to do with color
Mr.
of your
Speaker.
skin, any of that stuff. What we want to preserve and maintain is the fact that our military does not become a social experiment. We want the best of the best. We want to have standards that guide who's in what unit, what they do. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, the Russians, the Chinese, the Iranians, the North Koreans, they are not doing this because they want the strongest military possible. I hope my colleagues on the other side can understand what we're doing. Thank you so much.
Mr. Speaker, asking to be recognized to have the words colored people.
For what purposes does gentlelady seek recognition?
I'd like to be recognized to have the words colored people stricken from the record. I find it offensive and very inappropriate.
What is that? Is the gentlelady asking for unanimous consent to take down the words?
I am asking for unanimous consent to take down the words of referring to me or any of my colleagues as colored people.
For what purposes, the gentleman from Arizona?
Can I amend my comments to people of color?
The gentleman wishes to amend his comments. Is the gentleman asking consent?
Mr. Speaker, to have the word stricken. I didn't ask for an amendment.
Is there unanimous consent to have the word stricken?
Yes. Without objection, so ordered.
Without objection, so ordered.
Ali, we should note the congressman said he misspoke.
He misspoke because that's how he speaks in everyday life. You don't misspeak like that unless you're a racist. He misspeaks because this is his vernacular. And if that's not a prime example why we need diversity and inclusion, education and training, then I don't know what is. He's just proved it. But the fact that they're going after the military, we have the most diverse military in the world because we have an all-volunteer military, and we are a nation of immigrants. We are a diverse country, whether Republicans like it or not. But they, and let me tell you, when I was in the military, one of the things that I remember being impressed by was just how, I mean, I know that we had a long way to go in the military, but it was just how proactive they were with diversity and inclusion. They're just the training itself to the average grunts, let's say, who are coming from, I mean, I got to tell you, when I was in the military, I never met so many stupid people in my life. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's the truth, because these were people like coming from all over the country. And the sad part is that most, there are, as we know, most, not most, I don't know. There are a large swath of people who sign up for our volunteer forces because they have nothing else. That's the only thing they can do. They're not that swift, and it's sad in a way. It also is, it reminds me of Thomas Jefferson writing, saying that our men are so happy at home that they won't hire themselves out for a shilling to be shot at, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. And so we have no standing army, he wrote, because we have no paupers to furnish them, or something like that. And and that's pretty sad. But we do have plenty of paupers who join the military for a variety of reasons, and it's not mom and apple pie. They need the money, they need the bonus, they need the the health care, which is that's how disgusting it is, because we don't have a universal health care. And there are people, I remember reading an article too about a man who this was before Obamacare, and he had to sign up to join the military and leave his wife behind. His wife was battling cancer, but they didn't have health insurance. So he joined the military so his wife could get medical care, which is so disgusting. And frankly, it's not freedom. You're not free if you have no choice but to hire yourself out to be shot at for health insurance, right? So, anyway, so there are a lot of dumbasses, just like anywhere. There's a lot of dumbasses in the country, but in a lot of dumbasses in the world. So, but there were many trainings about, and they wouldn't tolerate they just would not tolerate open racism. But this, for the Republicans, this is weakness, just like the what's his name, Ted Cruz, tweeting out how impressed he was with Putin's propaganda about the Russian military, this hyper masculine Disney movie. It looked like some kind of clip from the Avengers. But the reality, when you juxtapose the slick ad next to the reality of Russian soldiers crying, right, after they were captured by the Ukrainians, and the Ukrainians are like, "What are you doing here?" And the Russian soldiers on the phone to his mother crying. That's the reality. So but the Republicans are easily led. It's like Trump. He was the same way. You had to look the part. You had to you fit the suit somehow. You it doesn't matter if you're actually qualified. You put off this outward appearance, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you actually are qualified. But the thing is, the Republicans, it's really kind of disgusting, and I'm sick of it, where these freaks who are, these right-wingers are, they're supposed to be so pro-military. This is what we've been hearing for years, but the fact is they're not pro-military. They're pro-military. They're pro-fascism. They're pro-police state. They're pro militarism. They're not pro-military when it comes to because in my opinion, it's just my opinion, I'm sure you share it too, that the diversity of the armed forces and just the diversity of the nation itself is what makes America great. That's, all the good things about America, all the things that I appreciate about this country are considered weak to right-wingers. They don't see our diversity as our strength. And it was really disgusting on July 4th for them to, I saw a few of these freaks like tweeting out pictures of, actually it wasn't just July 4th. On July 4th, they were saying something about like Happy Insurrection Day, because, now they're pro, yet again, they're pro overthrowing the country, right? And that the founders fought a revolution to create and entrust to us, the one that they wear all the stars and the eagles about, but they want to overthrow that country. But it was during Gay Pride Month when some service members tweeted out pictures of themselves with gay flags, and that really triggered the right wingers, and they were like, oh, no wonder recruitment is down. But of course, Republicans, they don't, recruitment's not down because we have a woke military. This is what they do. It's sort of like the flying spaghetti monster. Remember the flying spaghetti monster? Let me see. Flying. It was kind of it was a made up, well, not really. If there were some people that are actually worshiping the flying spaghetti monster. Spaghetti monster. Hold on a second. Be right back. Come on back. Hang out with us. Unapologetic liberal talk. And look, there's booty. So the Flying Spaghetti Monster is a deity of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. So it was created to kind of, as sort of political theater, really, to push back on the Christo-fascists trying to inject their religion into our secular government. But according to the Flying Spaghetti Monster canon, what was it? Something about pirates. Yes, so pirates are revered as the original Pastafarians. The Flying Spaghetti Monster community congregates to share ideas and sightings of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Pirates. So here we go. So according to the Pastafarian beliefs, pirates are absolute divine beings and the original Pastafarians. Furthermore, Pastafarians believe that the concept of pirates as thieves and outcasts is misinformation, but it's connected to global warming. So according to the and this is another political performance art to highlight the stupidity of right-wingers who connect anything they want to connect. So they're saying that the shrinking numbers of pirates since the 1800s are directly correlated to the warming planet. So the less pirates, the more global warming. And so the same thing with Republicans when it comes to the military. They're saying, oh, the military is woke. Now, all of a sudden, because the military is the military provides gender affirming care to trans soldiers, and the military is openly recruiting LGBT people to join, and which triggers right wingers, and that was what Ted Cruz was very upset about, because the commercial that he compared the Russian bullshit commercial about the propaganda of Russian soldiers as supermen compared to the American military, who a young soldier signed up, she had 2 moms or whatever, who cares, right? That was very upsetting to Republicans, and they're saying this is why we have a recruitment problem, but it's that's not why we have the military is struggling to recruit. It's because the economy in the country, we have the lowest unemployment rate in how many years, and that's why, because people have options. So, as Thomas Jefferson said, they're not hiring themselves out to be shot at. So there's options, and that's why. But Republicans would rather, I don't know, because really they suck and they destroy everything they touch. So why would they be honest and forthcoming and really want to have an actual legitimate conversation about the issues that we face? Everything is an opportunity to manipulate and just assert their agenda. So, which is disgusting and tiring. Isn't it tiring? Don't you really want, I mean, if there are conservatives, fine, whatever, but wouldn't you, I mean, just have, I mean, wouldn't it be a relief to just simply try to get along or compromise or, to govern with sincere conservatives who simply, also want to have a government and a functioning democracy that works for more than just the 1%, right? Wouldn't that be, isn't that what, I mean, my God, it sounds so outrageous, because I've never seen it in my lifetime, and I don't think I ever will at this point. The only real solution, frankly, is to send these unfit right-wingers into history's trash pile. Right? Right. So, Haiku on the chat says, 3, 2, 1. Republicans will soon blame the left for not telling them how serious climate change would be. Exactly. As the Earth continues to warm. We'll get to that in a minute. But so as far as this person is concerned, this Crane character saying he misspoke. How do you misspeak? If you live in this century and you have a clue, you don't misspeak. You don't misspeak like that. He spoke like that because he speaks like that. That's it. And he's the poster child of saying that proves we need diversity and inclusion. I mean, what's so wrong about that? I don't understand why you would get so triggered about learning about other people. Taking a minute to maybe see the world through somebody else's eyes. That's kind of interesting to me. I would like to learn that as if I want to learn as much as I can on this big friggin' diverse planet. Wouldn't you want to I mean, why would you want to limit yourself to only seeing the world through your very narrow slits for eyes? Right? I mean, what a small and really sad world you live in. I'm only going to look at the world through... I mean, well, that's the Republican birthright, isn't it, though? Never change, never ever grow, never take in new information. That's the Republican way. That's your American birthright. Right? For real. So, why... And this is the other thing they say, I've heard this from right-wingers, which is what we've heard, as far as racism in general, when they say the N-word, right? They say the N-word on, rap songs and whatnot, so why can't I say it? As if them not being able to say it. I mean, you could say it. You could say the N-word, but we certainly have the right to have a reaction to it. That's what Republicans are very triggered by, anybody having a reaction. This is what they don't like. They want to be able to be as disgusting as they are without anybody having a feeling about it or a reaction to it. That's what they consider free. And for some reason, they think, of all the words that they can use, they just gotta have that one too. They want to say the N-word, and they just don't feel free, because why do you need to say it? But so they say, well, the NAACP is the national, they use the term colored people, but that's because they were, well, hold on a second. Here comes the music. Hold on a second. We'll be right back. Unapologetic liberal talk. So why would the, colored people be offensive when it's kind of the same thing? Because the NAACP, let's see, here's what they say. The historical name is widely recognized and respected for its contributions to the civil rights movement. This is why they keep it. It's because their organization was founded in a time before we really evolved as far as the language of racism. So they keep the name, and whatever, that's their right. But why would the why would the term colored people be upsetting to anybody? Well, that's because it's, the term colored people emerged during a time of racial segregation and discrimination. And when racial categories were used to justify unequal treatment of non-white individuals, and also it's dehumanizing as well. That's why, that's why it became people of color, because you put the person first. So the emphasis is on the personhood of the individual rather than the pigment, and which is very dehumanizing. Colored people. So, yeah. I don't know. Why do we have to explain this anyway, right? It seems like, even as I was talking there, I just thought, what the hell? Why do we have to still explain this? And the other thing is, who cares, right? Like, to explain it. If somebody says, we don't like being called that, what skin off your balls is it to say, okay, and call people what they want to be called? Right? Because it's so, for some reason, not being able to say, to not being able to categorize a group of other people, and whatever stereotypical and limited worldview and point of view you might have, that is somehow limiting to your freedom. When I don't know. Why don't you just, get a real hobby, Do something that contributes to the world. What do you... It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense why it's so upsetting to just call people what they want to be called, But so the guy, here's another thing. So I don't want to, keep going on about it, but
what kind of response is this getting?
Well, look, you watched the reaction in real time as this happened yesterday. Beatty getting up there and saying that she didn't want to hear an amendment to this statement. She wanted those words stricken from the congressional record. Crane, of course, obliged to that, saying that he misspoke, and then saying there at a later point he offered to repeat his statement without that slur in it. Nevertheless, we saw the result, which is that those words are no longer in the congressional record. And when asked about this earlier today, just in the last few minutes, the top Democrat, Hakeem Jeffries, said this. Watch.
It was an unfortunate statement. His words were taken down, and that was the appropriate thing to happen.
Okay. This is what annoyed me, right? So, this is why Democrats get on my nerves. And look at how cute Booty is. She's over there. Because, okay, could you imagine if the shoe was on the other foot, if Democrats misspoke somehow? Remember when President Obama said something about clinging to guns and Bibles? And how many years ago was that? And we still never hear the end of it? We still, they still bring it up, these filthy fascists. And Hakeem Jeffries, it's just like that one of the Democrats who witnessed the argument in the bathroom of perjury Trader Green and Lauren banned from the bowling alley, Boebert, and said, what happens in the ladies' room stays in the ladies' room. Yeah, there go the Democrats, always above the fray, right? It's unfortunate. Let me just play
My
that
amendment
again.
has nothing to do with whether or not colored people or black people or anybody can serve, okay? It has nothing to do with color
Mr.
of your
Speaker.
skin, any of that stuff.
It was an unfortunate statement. His words were taken down, and that was the appropriate thing to happen.
That's it. That's all he said about it. It's an unfortunate statement. First of all, this is why Democrats don't know how to fight. It would, yeah, right. On the chat, Haiku, and reminds me, yes, Hillary's deplorables that she apologized for, and which they proved her right. They are deplorable, and they all embrace the term deplorable. When Hillary Clinton detailed a very descriptive list of what she meant. She didn't just say, they're all deplorable. She said, they're homophobes, they're Islamophobes, they're racists, they're bigots, and they are. So, and then she apologized for it, which I don't understand why. Why do you apologize for telling the truth? Say, yeah. She didn't call them all deplorable. She said, there is a segment that's the base that will never fall away from this filthy fascist Trump, and they are the deplorables. She should have. I mean, you don't apologize for saying the truth, but okay, exactly, Haiku, exactly. That's another case in point. But he says, so Hakeem Jeffries goes, it was an unfortunate statement, and the words were taken down. That was the appropriate thing to do. Well, why wouldn't you? I mean, this is what pissed me off, because there goes yet another missed opportunity. Why wouldn't you say this? It was unfortunate. It was and taking them, striking them from the record was the appropriate thing to do. But it's yet again another stark and stunning example of why we need diversity and inclusion programs in this country. right there on the House floor. One of the irony of a Republican in the midst of trying to strip the military of diversity and inclusion programs, says this archaic and offensive term that we all thought we left in history's trash bin. So I don't understand why you would continuously just disarm yourself, Democrats, when the Republicans are just, they are proving you right again and again and again. It was unfortunate. I mean, this is what gets me insane. Why would... yeah, it was unfortunate, but it proved who they are. And why wouldn't you point that out? And more importantly, why wouldn't you use it as an example of why we need to continue to evolve and continue to proactively try to make a more perfect union, so we could see each other as human beings and live in this big, diverse country without being dehumanized by language. Language is powerful, as we know. It evolves. Language evolves alongside social attitudes and norms. So to have a Republican use the language of, you're talking about like the 50s, the 60s, which is, how many years ago, dragging us back to the pre-civil rights era. And that is not an accident that they're using that terminology. It's another stark example how we must never stop fighting. There are no true victories, just like there are no true defeats, because you have, who was that? It was an English MP. I gotta write this down because I've mentioned this guy before. There are no victories. There are no... I bet you JD knows this. There are... let's see. British MP? Famous quotes. Fighting. I don't know. What the hell? Come on, man. It's the same battle. It's a great quote. Same battle again and again. All right, we'll be right back. Yeah, I found it. Tony Benn said, "Every generation must fight the same battles again and again. There's no final victory. There's no final defeat." That's it. That's it. And here we are again, as we fight the same battles again and again. Just like we thought we fought the marriage equality battle. Right? Here we are again. We fought the affirmative action battle. Here we are again. The fact that they're dragging us back, it's not like they're not learning. It's not like they're improving on society. We've been here before. You see? That's what they're doing. They're taking us back to the Dark Ages. And they might disguise their assaults on our diverse nation of immigrants as somehow an evolution, but it's a devolution, because we've been in the world that they are recreating. We lived in that world, and we wanted out. We saw that world. It wasn't working for the majority of people. We realized in order to have a functioning nation of immigrants that works for more than just rich white men, that we needed to have proactive policies that would address our racial disparities and discord. So we tried affirmative action. Was one of the policies. There's nothing wrong with that. You try to make a difference. You try to make you make a more perfect union. But Republicans, they're saying that we're, of course, not doing anything at all, which is what we were doing. Is evolution? Yes, as Jim says on the chat, the Enlightenment was a bridge too far. That's it. They hate the Enlightenment. The liberal age of enlightenment? I'm not kidding, when I say that they're rolling back the New Deal, they're rolling back the Progressive Era, they're rolling back the American Revolution right to the Dark Ages. That's the policies are all there. That's their policies. No taxes on the rich, no government schools, right? They hate public education. Women know their place. Gays in the closet. No social safety net. If you fall on hard times, you go to the church. Church and state are intertwined. Am I wrong? That's the Dark Ages. We were there before. And then you have your orange parasite in the catbird seat of power, and everybody kisses his ass. And he might trickle some, cushy jobs, cushy contracts on you if you're loyal enough. We were here before. It was called the Dark Ages. Right? You go to, there's no government schools. No, you go to the field. Children, schools, a thing called childhood. This is a modern invention. Childhood only came along in the 20th century, and not even in the early part. Childhood was a notion that we developed through policy. Go to work. Now Republicans are rolling back child labor laws, and they're being and it's not that they're even trying to roll back child labor laws. They are succeeding in that. So come on, give me a break here. The Republicans are dragging us back to the times we thought we left in history's trash pile, and it's deliberate, This is what they're doing, and they're calling it progress. That's progress, but it's regression. You don't need to be Miss Cleo to know the outcome. Right, Play Dave on the chat says, give them credit, they're persistent. You're absolutely right. That's why the Democrats drive me insane, because they never seem to play the game. They don't play hardball with these people who are not kidding around. They're not sincere. They're not sincerely trying to have a functioning democracy that works for all, as we see. They hate that kind of system. They're trying to make sure that system, if there's even a sliver, if there's a remnant of that system, that is just too much for them. That's woke. That's too woke. Having a system that works for all, that is woke. That's got to go. And for Hakeem Jeffries, and I love him. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I love him. I'm in love with him. No, I don't, whatever. He's a conservative. He's a conservative Democrat. I appreciated his speech that he gave, in comparison especially to, weaker speaker Kevin McCarthy, where he went through the ABCs. I thought that was brilliant. And yeah, he's a good speaker, but come on, man. That's unfortunate. What benefit is it? What does it do to give these fascist freaks, these fascist throwbacks to times we left in history's trash pile? What benefit do we get by giving them a pass like that? And it's another missed opportunity, in my opinion. No, you take it and you say, see, this is why we need diversity and inclusion. And never let up. Every time they talk about it, they want to strip diversity and inclusion from everything they touch, then you bring up Representative Crane. Exactly. You don't give him a pass. You don't say, well, that was an unfortunate thing. I'm glad it was taken down. Let's move on. Haven't we discussed this enough? No. Every single time. Repetition. That's what the Republicans do. Over and over. Look at the fucking Parasite. The friggin' con man Parasite and the stinking stolen election bullshit. He's never, God. He never stops with that shit. Never stops. But they're the Democrats. Oh, well, it was unfortunate. Let's give Crane a pass. No, you don't give your enemies a pass when they're exposing themselves, when they're showing who they are. You double down. You remind the American people. But we have these built-in forgetters here, and it's called the corporate media. Because, yeah, it makes a news cycle, but then it'll be followed up by yet another segment on some poll, up in the poll, down in the polls, about who's going to vote Democratic, who's going to vote Republican. But they, in fact, they'll even have some Republicans on, and these Republicans won't even say the goddamn name of the Democratic Party correctly, and nobody will correct them. So, and that'll just act, the corporate media mouthpiece will just act like that's normal. So, as the Republicans, who aren't normal, okay? They're not normal, as we showed. It's not normal to live in 2023 and be as a grown-ass man in the House of Representatives and say a term that, went out of fashion. That's just putting it mildly. Went out of fashion 40 years ago, that we evolved 40 years ago. Try to keep up, Republicans. I know it's difficult, but oh boy. That's the end of the Progressive Voices part of the show. Thank you for hanging out. If you can, become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Keep the show going and growing. The Real Liberal Media. Share the show with your friends. We will win. Give the show a good review on iTunes. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. We stick together, we win. My name is Tara Devlin, and I will see you soon. All right, we still got our special part of the show. Got rid of those Progressive Voices people. I'm just kidding. Now we can really talk. Thank you guys. I'm seeing... Oh my god. What? Newsmax? Thank you. Who's talking about me in the chat room? Tara's the best commentator, better than the Young Turks. Thank you, Jonathan. What's your favorite thing about the Tarabuster show? everything. I don't know. Why don't you got to go into the Young Turks chat room and say, if you think you like the Young Turks, you'll love Tarabuster. Anyway, all right, let's get back to work. Let's see. There's so much to talk. What's the other thing? What did I put in the description? I forget. It's because it's always an embarrassment of riches when it comes to Republicans. Yes, Republicans kick each other's in the balls. Oh yeah, Donald and Melania, the grift that never stops, which is so disgusting. You know, here's the thing. I'm sure you saw. Let's see. You know, the Republicans, they had Christopher Wray at whatever, Congress. You see, it's a show. The performance of grilling the FBI about the fact that their con man Dim Fiora, their tax cheating, draft dodging, wannabe dictator con man with the fake university, the vitamin scam, the one who stole classified documents and took them to his meeting with the Saudis about some tacky golf thing, some deal. You know, that's how much he loves America, you see. He would sell this country out for a tacky golf deal. Right? I mean, a little petty little golf, deal with the Saudis, with a bunch of dictators who lord over the damn literal Handmaid's Tale, who lured a journalist into an embassy and dismembered him alive. You know, that's who Trump hangs out with. But he wants to sweeten the pot with America's secrets. He took these secrets to the meeting with the Saudis. Why? Of course, because he is a traitor, and the only thing he has loyalty to is money, self-serving greed, and it's a grift. The whole thing is a grift. So, one of the things that really gets on my nerves, and I think we were playing it the last time because we had these clips of the Trumpanzees being interviewed, and they're all a bunch of morons. It's kind of embarrassing that we have to share the same air with these people, but it's okay. I mean, I wish maybe they're not getting enough air or something. That could be it. I wish they would take more of it in that case. But one of the things I remember one of the Trumpanzees saying was that how poor put upon Donald Trump is. He's so picked upon because he didn't even take a salary. You see, and everybody's picking on him. He so loves America that he didn't even take a salary. Well, let's see. Well, how much money? I think Trump came out of the White House $250 million richer. How much richer? Even though, I mean, he's a dirtbag, we know. I mean, what? He's filthy. I can't even. NFT sales, every little grift was. And then, oh my God, there's so many little grifts that they talk about Hunter Biden. I mean, if you would think Hunter Biden has some kind of position in government. When he left the White House. In disgrace. Yeah. No, excuse me. I was way off. Trump, he left the White House an estimated $600 million richer. Jesus Christ. Wait, let me see. Prior to, let's see, Trump's wealth rebounded after he lost roughly half of his net worth during his time in office. Oh, as several organizations stopped doing business with him. Forbes listed him with a net worth of $4.5 billion in 2016. Get out of here. But then his net worth, it jumped back up. Well, this is why he's probably so he's so desperate. You know, as a 78-year-old man, there's how much more money are you going to be able to grift in your whatever useless time you have left on this planet? Incredible. Absolutely incredible. But they always say how he left the White House. I mean, he never, well, that's what he said. We should be grateful because he never took a salary, which is bullshit, of course. Trump, he said he donated his salary. But it's sort of like, you know, does it really matter if you're grifting all kinds of other cushy perks from the job? And that's what they're doing. I mean, this is the whole thing is a grift. That's why Donald Trump got into politics to begin with. I mean, he jumped from grift to grift to grift. His entire waste of human DNA life. Well, excuse me, let me rephrase this. His entire waste of human DNA useless existence. That's really more accurate. But, you know, from multi-level marketing vitamin scams to any other scam that somebody else had done with success, he hopped on board after the fact because he has no imagination. That's how, you know, he's just a basic bitch. He doesn't have any creativity. He really doesn't have any redeeming qualities. Could you imagine hanging out with him? Could you imagine being, you know, I mean, it's got to be the worst thing, being his third trophy wife? Right? I guess the only reason you would be somebody's third trophy wife if you're just as much as a grifter as he is. And that's why it's perfect. It's perfect that the Donald and Melania, I mean, Melania's he's funneling some of that stupid money into Melania's coffers. Trophy wife number 3. Lucrative speaking fees for Donald and Melania Trump revealed in revised personal financial disclosure filing. So this is from CNN. A revised personal financial disclosure filing from the former so-called president was made public on Thursday, offering new details about roughly $1 billion he appears to have earned in his post-presidential life, including lucrative speaking engagements by his third trophy wife, along with specifics about his foreign business ventures. And I'm sure, you know, it's all because he loves America. Trump, who leads polls for the 2024 GOP presidential nomination, who cares? God help us. Please be the nominee. Please. Please. That's what's so funny. They're like, oh, Biden wants to take out his primary rival. Are you serious? Trump is really the gift. Trump gets people out to the polls. We want him. We want to beat him for the third time. But this time we want to mercilessly smash him into history's trash pile. And can keep on smashing legally and peacefully. Until the entire Republican Party is nothing but smoldering ashes and roaches. So his most lucrative speaking engagement was $2.5 million in September from Triller Legends 2 LLC, a media company that promoted professional fights. Now, you know, Jimmy Carter is out there building Habitat for Humanity. You don't see that happening with right-wingers. You know, Trump is not the only former so-called president that goes around, you know, trying to make buku bucks for his useless, wasted existence. To make his useless, wasted existence seem somehow not useless and wasted. But I don't think there's ever been a more useless and wasted existence than the entire Trump family, frankly. They haven't done anything positive. What have they done? They've added a bunch of tacky shoes? That's knockoff shoes in a Chinese sweatshop? Right? NFT cards of a bloated narcissist pretending he can ride a horse? Oh, worse than that, pretending he's the fucking president. Excuse my language, but yeah. What a disgrace. What an absolute disgrace to anybody. Every time I think about how people died for this country, and then you see that disgusting grifter just turning it into yet another host from which to suck profit and discard. Like a lamprey, he has attached himself to this country, just sucking the life out and leaving nothing. It's just disease coming back, you know. It's like he's sucking as much profit as he can and regurgitating disease into the body politic. His most lucrative speaking engagement, $2.5 million. Oh yeah, I read that already. Trump earned a 7-figure fee providing commentary for the Triller Fight Club's Evander Holyfield versus Vitor Belfort boxing match. Oh yeah, what dignity. Right? Republicans are always... Remember when Clinton got a blowjob in the Oval Office? Who cares? Who cares? You know, he balanced the budget. He left the country a surplus. I don't care. If he cheated on his wife, that's between him and his wife. At least he was in the Oval Office working, balancing the budget, right? At least they were trying. They were trying to give people health care, right? They were trying to make this country join the rest of the world and have universal health care as a right of citizenship, not a privilege of wealth. And the Republicans are like, what about the children? He got a blowjob. And they wanted to see Clinton's penis. That was something that was all over. That's how sick they are. They're still at it. They still want to see penises whenever they can of Democrats. But yeah, if Hakeem Jeffries would be just nothing to see here, right? Like, it's unfortunate. Ugh. What about the children? And all of the things we had to endure. That's the other thing that I can't stand. You know, we've talked about this before. It's just how they just continuously waste our time all the time with shit, with faux rage about whatever, you know, the faux rage du jour. At the time with the Clintons, it was, you know, what about the children? The children might know. What am I going to tell my child about a blowjob? Meanwhile, here they are putting this unfit grifter with a fake university, this tax-cheating national security risk traitor, who 5 years ago completely embarrassed the United States on the international stage by just sucking on, well, I'll try to put it nicely, just his complete obsequiousness to Vladimir Putin. What a joke. What a disgrace. Oh, what about the children, though, right? We had to hear that all those years. And it never stopped after the Clintons left the White House. It didn't stop. We always had any time, any opportunity, they had to bring it up. What about the children? What about the children? What am I going to tell my children? What about the children? And then they put this Jabba the Hutt orange parasite in the Oval Office, and they want to do it again. What about the children? What about the children? And meanwhile, they're talking about Clinton's penis. What am I going to tell my children? And the Republicans are they had, literally at the Republican debate discussing the size of their dicks. What about the children? What about the children? Right? Let's see. Debate. Nothing to see. Nothing. No problem there. Remember? He says my hands are small. And what that means, he means that something else is small. And let me assure you, I have no problem. No problem there. That's what Trump said about his penis. Incredible. But we had to hear all about Clinton's penis. And they were very descriptive in the was the Star Report? Whatever. Oh, it had a curve or something to it, remember? This is who they are. They're very sick people. They really are. And we've proved it tonight. I mean, so many. We prove it every show, every time we get together. These are the I wish I could say I wish we could talk about cats. I wish they weren't this sick. I really do. Why would I? What do we get out of this? I want a functioning society that works for all. I don't have to deal with these clowns, this clown show. I mean, I'm sure you saw, as I was saying, they had this hearing, another show, another performance for the dumbasses at Newsmax, where they grilled the FBI director. And I mean, I hadn't seen a clown show like this in a long time, except it wasn't funny. Well, I guess clowns aren't that funny. They're terrifying, which is why the Republican clown show is an appropriate theme, because it's like the clowns of your nightmares, right? Let me see. Here's a montage of the Republicans talking or grilling Christopher Wray, the FBI director.
The American people fully understand that there is a two-tier justice system that has been weaponized to persecute people based on their political beliefs, and that you have personally worked to weaponize the FBI against conservatives.
Well, first off, I would disagree with your characterization of the FBI and certainly your description of my own approach. The idea that I'm biased against conservatives seems somewhat insane to me, given my own personal background.
Your job is to review what they do. Your job is to protect the American people from a tyrannical FBI storming the home of an American family.
I could not disagree more with your description of the FBI as tyrannical.
You seem deeply uncurious about it, don't you? Almost suspiciously uncurious. Are you protecting the Bidens?
Absolutely not. The FBI does not and has no interest in
you won't answer the question about whether or not that's
incredible. What I wish I don't think I grabbed it though, because Matt Gaetz. Here's the thing that really got on my nerves. Matt Gaetz, before this little exchange, he read a text. Did I get this? Wait. Oh no. He read that text that the Republicans are passing around. It's supposed to be this text of Hunter Biden, and he says, "I'm sitting here with the big guy." Wait, Matt Getz. And what really pissed me off is they kept playing it on the corporate media, and they did not bring out or even mention the fact that that text is a complete fabrication. So there goes Matt Getz reading this text that supposedly came from Hunter Biden, but Hunter Biden's lawyer sent these clowns, these Republican clowns, proof and evidence that this is a fabricated text, and a badly fabricated text at that, easily debunked. So, please stop reading this text and passing it on and reading it on Fox News and reading it into the congressional record, and because you're, they're gonna sue these people, and I think that's a good idea, but it doesn't stop the Republicans from continuously repeating this absolute and complete fabrication, and then asking Christopher Wray to comment on it, but that's bad enough. And then they don't. The corporate media pundits don't even point out the fact that this is a fake text. And how hard is it to fake a text? It's not that hard. All you need is Photoshop. Let me see. Text. And this text is so laughably, whatever they have, the evidence that the Republicans have is such a laughable fabrication that, it's almost beyond belief that that anybody on the corporate media, why would they just let that out there without even, pointing it out that it's fake? Hold on. Fake Hunter. Where's Booty? There she is. And it's like, here we go. The attorney says that Hunter Biden message cited by Republicans is fake. So the attorney for Hunter Biden says screenshots of a text, of purported screenshots of a screen snots, it should be, from Hunter Biden to a potential Chinese business partner, where he refers to Joe Biden, a message that has been the subject of intense scrutiny. But this goes along with the rest of the clown show. They have these so-called whistleblowers that are not whistleblowers. They're also a bunch of traitors who did the FBI so-called whistleblowers were just disgruntled traitors who didn't want to do their jobs and were national security threats, as the FBI informed the right-wingers. But that didn't stop them from bringing them in front of the American public and holding a hearing with these clowns, calling them whistleblowers when they did not have whistleblower status. Whistleblower, the title of whistleblower is a status that you have to obtain. You can't just say I'm a whistleblower because you got fired for not doing your job. You're not like, oh shit, I'm a whistleblower now. You have to go through a process, and then you get protected whistleblower status. But these so-called whistleblowers, they're not whistleblowers, and that's, once again, right-wingers aping the legitimate world. in order to undermine the legitimate world, right? The legitimate government, the legitimate system. So Abby Lowell, who was one of Hunter Biden's attorneys, made a statement in a letter to Representative Jason Smith, chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, which has interviewed whistleblowers, supposedly. The letter was obtained by NBC News. IRS Supervisory Special Agent Gary Shapley told the committee under oath that as an investigator for the IRS, he obtained messages. In the message, let me see, the Biden appeared to suggest that he was sitting with his father, but Biden family lawyers, wait, let me see. Lowell writes that screenshots of the message include a photo of Mr. Biden, not from 2017, but from the White House Easter egg roll in April of 2022. Because it doesn't, you see what I mean? They don't actually need to construct a fake message with any kind of skill. Like, they don't really have to do it correctly. It doesn't matter. Republicans are going to eat it up. They're going to eat it up and spit it out. Like the so-called whistleblower that they have, who is a traitor. Who's which is the guy who's the arms dealer. They were so thirsty. You see, they're so thirsty for overthrowing the government that the founders fought a revolution to create and entrust to us, that anybody who could just step up and be like, yo, I got a story to tell you, suckers. And these people are going to give them anything they want to, if they fit this narrative for them, right? So, wait, whistleblower, Chinese. You can't really make this shit up. So the missing whistleblower is an arms trafficker, right? It's a clown show. These people are clowns. So he's also a Chinese agent now. Funny enough, that's sort of like what Republicans are trying to say Joe Biden is, right? China Joe, they call him. Meanwhile, because everything that Republicans say is either confession or projection. So they're calling Joe Biden China Joe. That must mean they are, using an agent, or they're using a so-called whistleblower who's actually a Chinese agent and arms trafficker. So, but where is it? Where the hell is it? Yes. Oh, man. Hold on. Man charged with acting as a Chinese agent has really derailed the House Republican big plan. Gal Luft is facing somewhere around 900 years in the slammer for all these charges. But, Republicans, that's the best they got. Doesn't matter. As long as he can help them fix the facts around the policy, the GOP will back him. Now he's indicted, right? Gal Luft, promoted by House Republicans, are possessing the evidence of corruption of the Biden family, is charged by federal prosecutors with lobbying and sanctions violations and with brokering arms deal with China and Iran. You can't really make this shit up, right? It never stopped. Because it just betrays how thirsty the Republicans are for to advance their clown show. The show must go on, right? Break a leg, Republicans. That's all it's about. The missing whistleblower is an arms trafficker and Chinese and Iranian agent. So let's see. Both the back to the text, both the photo both include a photo of Mr. Biden, not from 2017, but from the White House Easter egg roll in 2022, long after the purported message was sent. Both images portray the message in a blue bubble, when the WhatsApp messages are in green. You see, like, all of these little details that are supposed to be this bombshell message that they got them dead to rights is a fabrication, but a bad fabrication. But it doesn't matter. Republicans are still using the Chinese agent and arms dealer as their whistleblower because they have no integrity. It's all about fixing the facts around the policy, and they don't have anybody else. So they'll just continue to lie about it. They'll continue to poison the minds of the people stupid enough to vote for them. And here we are. We'll continue to shake our heads and have to fight these people. I wish Hakeem Jeffries was listening. So both images portray a mess in the message in the blue bubble. When the WhatsApp messages are in green, one image is superimposed. The Chinese flag is superimposed for the content ID, which when surely that is not how a text or contact is kept. So, because they need to hammer home for the dumbasses that this fake Hunter Biden text was supposedly in conversation corruptly with somebody from the Chinese government. So that's how, what do you do? Just put a Chinese flag. You don't even have to think about it because there's no real person there. It's just some rando Chinese person. And that's, as we know, every rando Chinese fake person that the fake president's fake son in a fake WhatsApp message is conversing with would have a Chinese flag as their avatar. Because it's you gotta hold their hands, and they're eager to really eat that shit up. So no one ever thought for a second, none of these dumbasses looked at this message and was like, wait a minute, that's not WhatsApp. That's not a picture that Hunter Biden would use as his avatar, a picture that he wouldn't go into the future and grab a picture of himself for 3 years later. No, 5 years later. What am I talking about? And then go back in time to make a message to some rando Chinese flag person that doesn't exist. Or, let's see, that when surely that was not how the text or contact was kept, and one purports to be a screenshot with the someone composing a text that has 3 dots. So it was supposed to be, I guess they were trying to give some authenticity to this very poorly composed, fraudulent message. And they made it like they got it in the middle of somebody responding, with the 3 dots. But that's not what happens on WhatsApp. So they didn't, do their research. They were like, just put some messages here, messages that in. Who needs to be authentic? These suckers are born every minute. Trumpanzees are living proof. So why do we have to even try? That's kind of the Republican way. Don't try too hard. You don't have to try that hard. Right? All right, well, that's it for now, guys. Hunter Biden's lawyer says, in short, the images you circulated are complete fakes. Well, That's why Republicans read it into the congressional record. And the corporate media said nothing about it. Didn't point it out. Just kept repeating it and repeating it. All right, listen up, guys. We will win. Thank you for hanging out. Check out APS Radio News if you can. Become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. Keep this show going and growing. We stick together, we win. My name is Tara Devlin. I'll see you soon. All right. That's the end of the show, guys. Thank you for hanging out. What's going on in this chat room? What needs to be told to Randy Rhodes, etc.? Me? Jim, Matt, Oh, yes. Errol Thomas. By show of hand, who here thinks Matt Gaetz looks like Eric Trump? I think he's getting more wolfy looking by the day, really. He's really looking very wolfy and demonic, kind of. Don't you think? Like his brows are getting more wolf-like. All right, listen. Yeah, I gotta go. It's been great hanging. Actually, I forgot to mention earlier. Shit. Tom Hartman's going to be on the show on Wednesday discussing his book, his latest book in his series, the Hidden History series, The Hidden History of American Democracy.
Okay, I found this on the web for said a Hidden History series, The Hidden History of American Democracy.
How dare you, Siri? Did you hear that? She just popped right in. I didn't even ask for her. So, yeah, so Wednesday night, it's going to be good. So we'll definitely have a show on Wednesday because Tom Hartman will be here on this little old Tarabuster. I wonder if he'll see Booty. I wonder if Booty will come out. Little Bootyka. And I wonder if she'll come out and greet him. Yeah, this is the only show where kittens and cats are flying around. Yes, he does look demonic. Matt Gaetz. Junior. Oh, I got scared for a minute. He's been sleeping the whole show. Just want to make sure he's still okay. Oh, he's still with us. How you doing, honey? All right, good. All right, guys, listen. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for your super chats, Jim and Mark. Thank you for your support, your patronage at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. Thank you for your PayPal donations and everything like that. You keep the show going and growing. You keep me also less depressed about things. And that means a lot. And we will get back together again on Wednesday for sure for a great conversation with Tom Hartman about the hidden history of American democracy. And I hope, hopefully, I don't know. I was going to say he can talk me off the ledge, but I think he's kind of with me on the ledge at this point. So we'll have to talk each other off the ledge. And thank you guys for hanging out. And, oops, wait. I love you all. Oh, yeah, follow me on Threads, I guess. My name, I wish it was different. Well, I got to set up the Tarabuster show on Threads. But my personal account is Pterodactyl at Threads, just like the Instagram. But anyway, whatever. I'm sick of Twitter. I'm glad it's going to be, I'm glad it's dying. And it couldn't have happened to a nicer right-wing waste of human DNA. Billionaire parasite. All right, listen up. I will see you. Thank you for hanging out. See you on Wednesday night.